Cuddles the Comfort Doll was created to help people with their problems.
Hello, this is John Pattison. I'm the creator and the writer and the producer of Puppets Who Kill.
And I'm Shawn Alex Thompson, one of the producers as well as the director of many episodes.
And we're looking at an episode right now which I wrote and Shawn directed called Joyride.
And I remember when you were thinking about this, because we knew this was going to be, we knew early this was going to be the last show of the season, right? We wanted to make it kind of special.
Yeah, this was certainly one of the special shows of season 4, and we put extra care into this one.
I think we had even spoke at one time about trying to shoot it on film.
Yep. We were looking at 35 millimeter. I know we were talking about that at one point. Then we found out what it would cost.
And then we realized, what are we thinking?
And some of the difficulties that were going to go with that. But boy, where to start talking about this show? This is written as kind of an adventure sort of show. It's season 4. I always think of being full of untypical Puppets Who Kill shows, and I was trying to expand the way that we made the shows. I was trying to experiment with different styles, and that's what I wanted to do. And this show is an example of that. It's a kind of an adventure show. It's not supposed to be too sitcom-y. This is in Hamilton. We shot this on location in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
One thing people should probably know, too, is when we shot the show, we shot all of our locations in one fell swoop. We took about a 3-week period and shot 13 shows worth of locations like we were doing a movie.
Yeah.
Then we went back into the studio and shot sequentially the shows.
We shot the indoor stuff later, the halfway house stuff. I should say I really do think this is one of our best collaborations. I know one of the good things about the show is that because we have a long history of working together, I brought ideas to you early and we discussed how we could do things, and so the scripts got written with that in mind, with the directing in mind, and this is kind of an example of a collaboration.
Yeah, and we spent a little extra time on it and a little bit of extra money, but a little extra time also storyboarding this, because there's a sequence that's coming up that is quite elaborate for us in terms of CGI and such, because I know one of our big problems was when we were doing this was because a lot of it was joyriding, or at least a portion of it, we were wondering how we were going to get these puppeteers in a car and get them driving or appearing to drive, and while the puppeteers were on the floor and such. So we talked about camera cars and different rigs.
Yeah, that's right, we did. We went through the whole gamut. By the way, this is Tom McCamus, well-known Canadian actor, does a lot of Stratford stuff. He did a fantastic job as the bad guy in this.
It's a very non-typical sort of bad guy, too. There's something he brought to it that was just a little bit kind of strange and David Lynch-like, or it was kind of weird the way he played it. I liked it.
Yeah, he didn't play it too over the top.
No.
He didn't make him too much of just an evil
And he had a monotone
bastard.
sort of quality to his voice that sort of worked.
So that's what we settled on. We got a kind of a cartoony background.
Yeah, sort of a blend of cartoon meets hyper-real.
Yeah. It's a little bit of that Sin City.
Yeah, I think, had we seen that at that time, or?
I think I'd seen Sin City. You and I talked about Sin City.
Yeah, maybe that was what was some of the inspiration for that.
I like how you do you kind of go into this kind of Thomas Crown Affair style of directing.
With the split screen.
Split screens, yeah.
Well, actually, and they kind of adopted that a little bit for 24, and I think when we were doing this show, 24 was at its peak. I mean, maybe it'd only been on a couple of seasons, and so we kind of we're kind of sending up that style a little bit.
I know we're actually not really following the action as we're talking here too much. This is all shot in Hamilton.
This is not good.
I just remember getting up at 5 in the morning to get out to Hamilton. It was, boy, those were brutal days.
Yeah, they were. This car was also trouble. We were trying to find a car big enough to
Yeah.
hide the puppeteers and have the action in it. And
Now, here's an interesting piece of trivia. Bob Martin, who plays Cuddles, was not available at all in season 4 to play Cuddles. So Cuddles was done, in this show, was done by me. I did all the puppeteering and laid down a guide track vocal, and Bob dubbed the voice later. And I would say I can always tell when Bob does Cuddles, and all 3 puppeteers attempted Cuddles at different times, and none of us really got it, you know. I would say, all modesty aside, I think I came the closest.
I think so, because you sort of understood what Bob was trying, well, what he was doing with it, and there was a certain kind of sloppiness, an intentional sloppiness that Bob brought to it, being that he's also not
Yeah,
a traditional
yeah.
puppeteer.
Really charming. And
was simple.
The tendency is to over-puppeteer Cuddles.
This is Wayne Best, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
That's
Wayne.
one of the thugs in this.
Turn into that warehouse up
This is nice. What the Optics was the people who did this CGI work for us, and they did a very nice thing. They were able to create this bridge effect, and you see also the reflections in the window. That, you know, even though we're trying there was a bridge that went right there. Created a reflection in the window, which was quite a nice little effect.
Wanted to say, just get one last thing on Cuddles. One of the secrets, I think, with Bob with Cuddles is all about stillness. It's a very minimalist puppet, and the tendency is to over-puppeteer that puppet. And when you get a skilled puppeteer doing it, they often over-puppeteer it. They make it too fancy because it's such a wonderful puppet to work, and the tendency is to overdo it. And it's really meant to be just very still and simple.
One thing, just going back a second, that you saw the guy smoking the cigarette, Wayne Best smoking the cigarette down in the seat. The reason I put him down there was we saved a lot of money by not showing the rear window in his shots, because it would have meant more CGI.
Oh, yeah,
So by
yeah.
putting him down low like that, it kind of worked dramatically as well as saved us some coin.
I remember we were shooting this in a warehouse, and there was a tornado warning the day we shot this.
I think it was raining too.
Yeah,
It was a really big time rain.
all day. It was this shot in October, end of October. Actually, here we are. We're looking at this 4.5 years later. This was shot in the fall of '05, and now we're in spring of 2010 watching this. But I remember this day, and there was a tornado warning in Hamilton, and
Shoot the dog.
just going, what else can
Where are we? Yeah.
what else can be happening? And the day before, we'd been shooting outside, so we were really lucky.
Yeah, we were lucky.
Yeah.
I think it was, well, there's more of that.
So here you
effect.
go, the Thomas Crown stuff. It was I thought a really great idea for
Yeah, I think
how to
for this
present this.
particular episode, it worked really, really nicely.
really nice hit there with Jim Rankin doing buttons.
I'll take the key.
A lot of really intricate kind of puppeteering here with guns and keys, and I've been a lot of work by Vicky too, making those props work. And
It's a good puppeteering episode. You know, it's the episode was it was not intended to be too gaggy, and that was done on purpose. It was I thought gags would detract from the story.
I mean, in general, the shows weren't gaggy.
They
but
weren't gaggy.
This one had a little bit of a different feel for sure.
We did some shows that we veered towards gaggy, and then we did some that were, well, didn't really have a lot of jokes in them at all. And I don't know what people make of it, but we're trying to do that.
I mean, lots of shows. I mean, that was sort of a theme, is that every once in a while we would do a couple of shows a season that were more, I don't know, almost more filmic too.
Yeah.
This one certainly is in that realm.
We're stuck in a warehouse.
Yeah, and I always thought what's interesting about this show is the plot advances almost every scene. Something,
Yeah.
a new piece of information is coming in all the time.
Yeah, and little twists and turns that just like that one.
I love that. I love your
Little
idea
time
for the
passage,
clouds.
yeah.
That's for boys. Of course, you're complete morons, but you got chutzpah. It's almost a shame to see you die.
Tom's a great actor.
Yeah, he's very, very good. And Rick McVicker, he did a very nice job of lighting this show as well.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of nice little. I just loved how he put a little bit of blue in the back there, and it sort of matched
Yeah.
his shirt.
Did you deliberately work out a color treatment
We
for
talked
this?
about a color palette, and once you get started and you're into it, you don't get a lot of time to talk about. But Rick remembered a lot about that, and this is the kind of thing I think that paid off. Was it's almost subtle that you don't notice it that much unless you point it out, but there's definitely a lot of colors going on in this warehouse. And it was a completely benign space.
Well, you know what's been really great about this show, from my point of view,
Those are
is
electric guns, by the way, too.
oh yeah, electric guns.
That was fun to watch, huh?
A little safer.
Now you must have a second camera on this. You must have had a second camera that day. You're doing so many little pickup shots and things
Yeah,
here.
we may have had a second camera that day.
Now this is really a fun sequence. My idea for this was to drop a completely new thing into the middle of the show, and in this case, a David Lynch moment. And so I wrote this little David Lynch kind of scenario. It's a rented Cadillac, 1959 Cadillac, by the way. Really fun.
This is Frank Moore. He's actually one of the few performers in Puppets Who Kill, few actors we had that we actually had back a second time. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 of them.
And Charlotte Sullivan as his wife, and of course they make a totally incongruent couple. You can't imagine how these two could be together.
Nor even why they're speaking in southern accents. They're just sort of, as you say, dropped in. They're not really part of the world that we've been in, and
Yeah, they come from some kind of
drifters.
I wanted the idea that Buttons just walks into a surreal other reality for a few minutes, and they obviously have a very strange relationship. This couple.
I thought she was very good, too.
She did a great job. She did a great audition, as I recall. She
did.
really knocked us out.
She nailed it.
Yeah, she really nailed it.
Nice little touch with the train whistle in the background there.
I asked the guy renting stuff to get us a really old car, and he came up with a bunch of pictures of old cars. I wanted something kind of weird and from another time, and
It certainly works.
this Cadillac was on there, and I just went, oh yeah, a pink 59 Cadillac. It's perfect.
Well, you just go
It was
on.
fun to drive, too. I drove it. Yeah, it was great.
It wasn't fun to haul around, I remember. We
No.
were out in a park in Hamilton there to do all that stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
I remember it also being really difficult. All that road stuff with Jim, trying to hide Jim ranking the puppeteer Buttons to on roads where you have nowhere to hide.
Here we are with the clouds again.
That was amazing.
She's gone on to do quite a few things. I've seen her name now in a lot of shows, Charlotte.
I'm gonna blow your goddamn brains out.
Oh my God, Dwayne, no!
Say your prayers, asshole.
Nice twist there.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We're just screwing with you.
Yeah, I was videotaping you two so we can watch it
So
later.
bizarre.
We just love fucking around with strangers.
I love how you came on to him.
The idea that they're cruising around doing this is
That's
so
just
absurd.
insane.
I'd do anything for you, baby.
Bye.
See you later, bud.
I have to say, Jim Rankin, who plays Buttons, he played this so beautifully.
Yeah, he really did. See, we're hiding him in a ditch there.
That's right.
Oh boy, that was tough.
Oh, that was those days. It really brings it back. They were hard days. Those
And especially,
locations.
not every show or lots of shows never had all 4 puppeteers together in one space, and
And
this
this-
show was the whole thing.
And this did. Yeah, I remember coming to you saying this is going to be a really tough show. Yeah, when you watch Puppets Who Kill, you'll notice that very seldom are all 4 puppets in one scene together.
Hey, Rocco, how's it coming with that milk?
Oh, right. Yeah, we're on it.
It's been like 7 hours. Where have you been?
Oh, we got held up, Dan. We'll
That's not
explain
easy to
when
do either, that driving that Bruce is doing, and I guess maybe somebody's holding
How
that
do you get this number?
cell phone up for him.
Yeah, you
Might
know,
be a
I
second person there for that. I
I
don't know.
can't remember.
Hey, Dan.
Now, did you deliberately do slightly darker lighting on some of this?
We definitely went moody in the whole house for this third act.
Says he knows you.
Yeah.
Hello, boys.
Ooh,
We
big
meet
twist.
again.
We thought you were dead.
Sorry to disappoint you. I knew if I waited, you dumb shits would bring the money right to me.
Well, what is going on here? I demand an explanation.
Shut up.
It's good enough for now.
How'd you find us?
Guy at the convenience store told me where you live.
First the watery slushy, and now this.
Sometimes you really see Dan's timing. He's
Yeah,
very good at that.
Very good. And Dan did a very nice, understated acting job
Ran
on
over my
this.
foot. And you know what? I'm really pissed.
You know, it's
Guess what, pal?
pretty fun.
You got a
I wrote
gun
in
on
this
us.
kind of irritating thing between Bill and Rocco for the whole show, which really plays out in a fun way.
The candy bar thing.
It's
yeah.
so petty. They're
Yeah.
just going at each other in such a petty way.
Well, that's okay.
Well, this actor was very new. I think he was a football player.
Yeah.
His name was
Gene Mack?
Gene Mack,
Yeah.
yeah.
He did a great job
He did a
on
great
this.
job, but not an experienced actor, and he really pulled it out.
Christ's sake. You and your percentages, you idiot.
Yeah, they're just always
I do
this
believe
little
there's
petty argument going
someone
on.
playing their last card.
I remember Gene Mack came in and did a wonderful audition for us. We got him by auditioning.
Yeah, definitely. Which wasn't usual for us. We did a lot of auditioning, but we also did a lot like Tom was just, we just wanted him.
Very often on Puppets Who Kill, we just gave parts to people. We knew what people
knew
could
people.
do. Yeah, and we just gave them a part and said,
The Bible says
see what you can do with this.
And almost, I would say 98% of the time it worked out great. And I think there's something about giving people that confidence that you have in them right from the get-go.
People say that to me often. I'm sure they say it to
Yeah.
you because you've moved on to do lots of other things.
No, they definitely felt like, oh, wow, I'm just being offered this. It's so unusual.
Yeah.
And it gave them a certain confidence.
I'll be back to inspect your brew.
What's unusual as well in our show is we generally used about 5 guest actors per episode, which is a lot for a TV series.
Especially one that had relatively small budget that this did.
Yeah. This is a fairly small budget show. It certainly doesn't look it.
No. No, if people really knew how much it cost to make, they would be surprised if they had an idea of what the ratio is to taping and filming to money.
You have so many cutaway shots here. I'm sure you had a second camera in this day. We got a lot of stuff on.
Yeah, I don't
no.
remember that we had a second camera. It's possible, but
I would say you did more setups on this episode, camera setups.
I think we just really planned it out, and I don't remember. There might have been some second camera stuff, but I don't recall.
I'm happy.
No, I remember doing Cuddles on this, and we must have done this scene about 10 times, as I recall. I forget what it was, but we were looking for something. And
I think we were looking for a reaction from Gene Mack.
Gene.
He got sort of at the end there, but it took him a while.
the idea is he gets transformed, almost like a spiritual transformation. He sees God. He's a cold killer, and he's.
Didn't get any information.
It's a quick turn, so it's a short show, so you have to sort of get there quick. We're using a lot of Dutch angles in this show as well. You can see we just every once in a while we'll throw in something that kind of.
Tom is amazing in this scene. I think he's like a straight man.
With a question, have you ever felt the joy of a summer rainstorm, or the simple pleasure of flying a little kite?
It's his voice too, right?
Yeah.
It's Gene's voice.
Yeah.
Cuddles, I was all set.
Suddenly, it somehow makes it.
It's a different kind
makes
of.
it all work.
Yeah, it's a different kind of voice for a different kind of sound for
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head
northeastern,
around this. I left you to kill me.
for Canada.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure where he's from. He may
I
be
don't
from
know where.
America.
Maybe he's American.
Killed men by the thousands.
Yeah, he's definitely got some kind of accent.
I drowned little kittens for practice.
I thought he did this absolutely perfectly.
He sang a siren song that was so enchanting.
No, he's about to sing this song, but I think that's how we
Yeah,
cast him.
we
Was
cast
when he
him.
sang it. He
sang
sang it like
the
a
song.
spiritual,
Yeah. Saying it like a little kid. Yeah, it was really joyful.
I'm happy.
Well, here it is.
I'm happy. I'm a slab. Happy Jappy.
I love Tom's.
That's the song.
Yes,
Are you out of your fucking mind? That isn't even a good song.
I finally found real love, and I'm gonna spread it.
That worked nice with the cuts there with the
If you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself.
split
No, I
screens.
was trying not to make this like a sexual love. It was more like he falls in love with who Cuddles is. He Cuddles,
Yeah, the spirit of him.
the spirit of Cuddles. but I suppose you can interpret interpret it any way you want.
Goodbye. It's been fun.
Oh, Thor, well done.
You just saved our lives.
This is the most gunplay we ever had in a show as well.
Energy I had, Cuddles. I got 3 bullets in me and major blood loss. But I would do anything for you.
Oh, gee, that's swell.
Cuddles has lots of uncomfortable moments. People fall in love with him, and he doesn't. He's a completely asexual being. He doesn't know what it means. Makes him nervous.
Give each other back rubs and shit.
Oh, that sounds a little gay.
Please say yes.
I was hoping a nice firm handshake and a heartfelt thank you would suffice. Maybe a bottle of scotch at Christmas time.
I'm going fast. If I can't.
We also created this. We'd never seen the basement of the house, and
that's
this
right.
was in a warehouse next to our studio. And I think you
Yeah.
guys did a pretty good job of making it look like because it was not a basement; it was a warehouse space.
Yeah, the set deck was amazing on this.
For me.
And have you stalking my ass for the next 20 years? I don't think so.
I got to say, I mean, Bob Martin's delivery as Cuddles,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. I'll always wonder what Bob would have done if he had been puppeteering this, because you lose something by having someone else puppeteer it.
So that's that episode.
Yeah. So thanks for watching Joyride with us. It was a fun episode.
That's how they used to drive cars in the 70s. She's wonderful. Hey, Dairy Queen, pull over! Yeah, can we get a chocolate dip before
Bruce as Rocco, he's a great ad-libber, Bruce.
These outtakes always worked well for us. Sometimes they were a pain because we couldn't find as many as we wanted, but
Here we are.